Welcome to Skool magazine. Real stories from people shaping the future of online communities. How will you build your community?
Mark, super excited to talk to you today, man. You have a really amazing community that's just getting started, but you're already a top 1% community owner on Skool. Let's walk through that process a bit. How did you find out about Skool, first of all?
I found out about Skool while watching Alex Hormozy. I've watched him for years, studied all of his videos, and really gotten a lot of value from it. And once I saw the Money Models book launch, he talked about the opportunity to start a Skool community for only like $9 a month. And I immediately jumped on that. So that's how I really got introduced to Skool.
Cool. And you've been building a YouTube channel for how long now? Like you've grown it to 20,000 plus subscribers.
Now, I had other channels in the past that just flopped. I've been trying this YouTube thing since I was in high school, so for all 4 years. But this YouTube channel, I started back in October of 2023. So I'm almost at my 2-year anniversary of this channel.
Okay, cool. And just tell us a bit about what you're doing with your community. I know it's around basketball, but like, what are the goals of the community? What do you help people with in there?
Sure. My core goal of this community is my tagline: how to dominate high school basketball. The community is for people that are trying to work their way up, score more points, get a spot on their varsity team, go from bench warmer to varsity starter. I've tried to really key in on what people want, really go after my target audience and figure out why would they want to join a community. It's not for me, right? I'm not that important, but it's how can we help you get to those goals?
Just by watching some of your YouTube videos, I know that you talk a lot about your own transformation there, like the early struggles that you had in basketball and how you were able to make that shift pretty quickly, it looks like, into, really taking it to that next level. How important for you is that transformation in terms of like the coaching, in terms of helping other people? Like how much does your own experience play into that?
I think about it like, this YouTube isn't just a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build a personal brand for myself. So when I speak of that transformation, that's what I want people to associate me with, is going from 13 varsity points as a sophomore to 410. So I try to incorporate all my lessons, my messages with a personal story. And actually, when you talk about that transformation, it's funny you said, for a long time, I didn't talk about it enough. I didn't mention it because I was like, oh, well, if I repeat the same thing over and over, people are going to get tired of it. But that's the whole point of building an audience, having a brand, is repeating the same message so it sticks. When I think about that transformation, I oftentimes forget to mention the flaws and the mistakes along the way, because we all have our own, idea of, all right, I got to present myself a certain way online. But once I leaned into me being imperfect, then I started to gain traction. So if I had to give advice to somebody, first things first, be yourself unapologetically. If you have things that you disagree about that are uncommon, or you made dumb decisions, talk about it, because people are going to get annoyed with you if all you talk about is the good things.
That's really, really powerful. I think I know for me personally, it took me a long time to kind of start to accept my flaws and show more of my humanity, especially online. I think there's a lot of pressure these days to show a positive self, a positive image. And there's a lot of talk about being authentic and how important it is to be authentic online, but it's easier said than done, I think. In your own story, like what was it like when you started to share more about those kinds of challenges that you had in basketball?
Well, before I answer that, I want to ask you, what were some of the things that you did that you had to lean into to fully become authentic? What were some of those things that you incorporated?
Oh man, I love how you're turning that around on me. It's rare. It's rare in a podcast. So for me, I had to really be quite active about it. I did a lot of things to step outside of my comfort zone, just challenging myself a lot of it was, I think for me, getting more comfortable socially in real life allowed me to kind of step out online as well. Learning how to interact with new people, like approach people that I hadn't met before. I don't know, just kind of blurt out whatever's on the top of my mind rather than overthinking it too much. Meditation was also a big transformation for me. Yeah.
I love how you related that to real life, because when we think about online, YouTube, all these social media platforms, we sometimes disconnect it from real life, but it's not just numbers on a screen, it's
Yeah.
real people. So I love how you mentioned that. That's huge. Like, that's a gem right there. Think of it like personal life. That's what it is. You're connecting with people.
Now you have a community on Skool, and I know it's quite new for you to have that kind of community environment within Skool, but were you getting those relationships through YouTube? Like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, in my own experience, Skool feels very much like real life online in a way. It's like you're really building real relationships. You're getting to know people. And were you able to find that through YouTube and through your online presence before Skool? Or is this something that you're just kind of experiencing through this community now?
Another great question. I want to make sure I give you a good answer here. I would say there's pluses and minuses. When you're making a YouTube channel and getting views, sometimes you get lost in the opinions of other people. So you'll see the comment section, and there might be people that are hating. There might be people that love you. And you feel connected to those comments because they're talking about you. They're judging you. But a change I had to make as the channel was growing was, don't get too high with the good comments and don't get too low with the bad ones. You kind of have to, nullify it. And that was tough because I want to interact with the community, and I always do. Like, I answer comments and everything. But it was a tough transition to disconnect my emotions from my viewers in a way. I'm still replying to them, still making sure to be like, a positive creator and everything. But yeah, you can never base your emotional state on what other people are saying online. But Skool has been very positive, and the people that are in there, they're not just randoms that can scroll on YouTube and find any video. They're actually, enjoying my content and want to see more.
Right.
Yeah. I had a Discord a while ago. It wasn't my favorite. I don't like the platform as much, but I had over like 500 people in there when I was at maybe 10K. But once again, since it was it was free. There was such ease of entry. A lot of people just they weren't my target audience. So Skool has really helped with that. All 100 whatever people play basketball. They're striving. And it's become really cool to see it all flourish because people are encouraging each other and everything. I'm really loving Skool.
That's super cool. I kind of want to dig a little deeper here because I think that was really powerful advice for people who are listening to this, because there's definitely a difference between social media and community, I think. And the need to distance yourself from the comments on social media, I think, can be pretty important, to put your ego aside, to be able to recognize that these people don't know you really. They're just making comments on videos that they see. But then as you transition from social media to a community, and you're actually seeing the same faces over and over and over again, and as you said, they're coming specifically for what you're offering. So it's a different kind of relationship. I know your community is quite new, but do you feel like you're starting to see, like, I don't know, core members, people who are really taking it seriously and showing up daily?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. The cool thing with Skool is how you can gamify everything. Now, this is for my community, so I can't speak for everybody else's, but gamifying my community has really made it grow. Like, we have one of the most active communities already. Like, I think it's like 81% activity or something. And I'm not like the smartest guy out there. I'm not like, perfect, but I'm just doing what they told me to do in the Skool, account and all those lessons, those trainings, and I'm gamifying it to the max. I have all these rewards if you reach a certain level, and the most active person in the community every week will get like a free call with me. So I'm incentivizing people to engage, and now everybody's engaging. People are like farming and stuff. Of course, I want to eliminate that as much as possible, but people keep telling me this is addicting. Like, I love it. This is awesome. So that's been really cool. And I want to make sure I give all the credit to this community growing to my community members. They're the ones that are making it happen. I'm trying to take the spotlight off of me. I'm just the guy that grouped y'all together. You guys are the ones that are actually making this thing really cool.
I guess that I'm imagining that basketball, a community around basketball, you're getting people who are already kind of in that competitive mindset. And so the leaderboard and the gamification, I imagine, would pair really well with a sports community.
Oh, for sure. And I'm creating beef in the community. Like, there's one thing going on right now, 2 kids with the same names. They're both fighting for that top spot. And I was like, oh, it's the so-and-so versus so-and-so matchup. And everybody's like putting gifs of like, popcorn or like watching the showdown. Yeah, so it's been really cool.
Fun. Do you have any advice for somebody who's like starting off? Because you're quite young to be starting a business, I think. I mean, it's happening earlier and earlier and earlier. People are learning about entrepreneurship and stuff. But like for somebody who's like maybe still in high school, who's like wanting to get into building a personal brand or building a community even or something like this, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Love that question. I'm going to give like a 3-part answer, if that's all right. First thing, don't expect a lot in the beginning. You hear about this online. Oh, I made $10K a month in the first month of starting. That's not how it goes for 99% of people. I think you should focus on long-term growth, building something. Especially if you're young, you won't be taken seriously at first. But if you present yourself as somebody that's serious, people will. I remember when I first started, I thought, man, why am I not blowing up yet? What's going on? But I look back at my old videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, they stink. So you have to understand that if you're just starting out, no matter how old you are, mind you, I'm turning 19 in November, so don't let your age stop you. It's about the perception of yourself. How others look at you matters more than your age or what point of life you're at. So focus on building long-term would be my first thing. Second, you gotta love what you do. I know people talk about the grind and I stay up all hours of the night, wake up early in the morning to just get my business to grow. And I do those things, of course, but it doesn't feel like a grind. It doesn't feel like work. When I was playing basketball, I played for over 10 years. I loved every second of it. But then as I got older, probably after I broke my shoulder, that changed things for me. I didn't have as much fun anymore. And long story short, this was a hard decision to make, but I stopped playing and I focused on coaching and training other players. And I felt so fulfilled. So if you're doing something and you don't love it, you are going to get trampled by the people that do. Because the passion is going to outweigh your discipline 100 times out of 100. Because I don't just have passion, I have the discipline to push myself further than anybody else would want to go because I truly love what I do. And the last thing, you're not that important. Straight up. This was tough for me. You said you meditate, right?
Yeah.
I looked into Memento Mori, if you've ever heard of that. Have you?
It's a familiar idea. Tell me about it.
Memento Mori is, I believe, a Stoic practice where you reflect on
the life and death. Yeah.
Yes. So remember, you must die. If you think about your life as this everlasting thing that's going to go on forever, you might not have as much of a sense of urgency, and you might lock yourself into caring what other people think of you. But as dark as it is, you're going to die. So whatever you do, make it extraordinary because you're going to be in the ground 6 feet under and so will everybody else. So 1 generation from now, 2 generations from now, people probably won't even remember your name. Oh yeah, that's my great grandfather, Mark. You're only going to be brought up in random discussions. You have to, this is a lesson from Jesus Christ. If you wish to be first, you must be last and servant of all. Understand, nobody's thinking about you as much as you are. Nobody's got the spotlight on you. You're a background character in everybody else's life. So if you give nonstop value and create goodwill, I truly believe you will be successful.
You have a lot of wisdom and you're doing some really amazing things. And so I appreciate
Thank
this
you.
conversation a lot. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.